And welcome to this Freaky Friday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. Thank you to Brent Winterbull for giving us a great lead-off. And now we're here. It's the last day of the week, and thank God we got through it without Frankie. He's still on his honeymoon, but we're looking for his return. It'll be a freaky, Frankless Friday today, hopefully for the last time, because he'll be back and joining us on the show next week. We're at the downtown studios of Newsmax, the Question Tequila Studios, and right down the street here at the New York Stock Exchange. The markets are recovering well. The bears were in attack mode for the last couple of days. There was blood on the streets. Markets down about 800 for the week. And some really nice rosy employment numbers this morning. They expected 150,000 new jobs. It was 136,000, pretty close. There'll probably be some adjustment next month, some seasonal adjustment, but right on the money. And the unemployment rate continues to go down under Donald Trump. And with all the noise and crap you hear on the left-wing media about how the economy is going the wrong way, wages grew at 2.9% in the last month. And you're going to hear over the weekend, oh my God, wages are falling, jobs didn't hit the estimates. The growth went from 3.2% to 2.9%. So wages are still growing at 3%. They're just not growing as fast. There's a big difference, and that's how they try to trick us over there on the fake news. But we never try to trick you here, that's for sure. We always talk about the purple people and the guests that know where the rubber meets the road, who roll up their sleeves. And you know I am in an ongoing jihad to get Max Rose on this show to answer to me as his constituent and our audience why just a few weeks ago he wrote an op-ed saying how he wasn't for impeachment and all this other stuff. And now he flip-flopped just in the last few days, and we've been hounding him down. I commended him when he fought for the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund to be extended. I did. I commended him for his service to our country. So I've been fair. I'm a constituent, and we're hosting a show that gives credit when he's due, and he should answer on the show. And you know what? There's one person I know of that's making a tremendous effort to get the support behind her to take that seat from Max Rose. You know, Staten Island was 57% for Trump in the election, 82% in the Republican primary. And Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis, who's going after that seat, joins me on one phone call. Can you come down and talk about it? And there she is. Thank you.
Great to be with you, John. How are you?
This is amazing that just like that, she's currently a legislator. She's all over the district, all over the community. She's got to cover 2 boroughs every day because her district goes right now from Staten Island all the way into Brooklyn. And what's up with this cat? I mean, you had to see some vulnerability there for you to go after this seat to start with. But I know, you know, you're a relentless worker. So what do you see here with this guy?
Well, look, this is somebody who moved into the district just to run. He was a neighbor of our mayor, Bill de Blasio, and he turned out to be a liberal just like him. As a matter of fact, I've been saying for quite some time, and I jumped into this race for Congress at the end of January, and I said at that time that he was a fraud. He was somebody who was running as a centrist, running as a moderate in this district that President Trump won by 10%. And then as soon as he got elected, he went and started to vote with Nancy Pelosi to the tune 97% of the time. But he really showed his true colors on a number of issues. The first was when Ilhan Omar made all these very offensive, anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli, anti-American remarks. The horrific comments she said about 9/11, which obviously we're
some
here.
Some people did some things.
We're right a few blocks away from Ground Zero. Very offensive. I've said that she has to be removed from the Foreign Affairs Committee. We should not have someone like her, after making those offensive comments, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. It's too important of a committee. Max says that she should remain on. He calls her a friend with whom he shares values. Just this week, we saw now with the impeachment, how he's all over the place. It turns out that whenever there's a controversial issue, he is all over the place. He doesn't want to take a side. He's trying to make everyone happy, and then he makes no one happy because people want someone who's actually going to take a stand.
That's right. And you know what? As I mentioned, I've been fair to him on the show. He did fight for the 9/11 compensation extension and stuff. But then he also spoke out of both sides of his mouth on another occasion where he said he was in the district. He said he wasn't for illegal aliens voting.
Yeah.
That's what he said at his town hall. But then he went down to Washington again and voted with the squad.
Exactly.
To turn down an amendment that would have asked to stop illegal aliens. So he's been doing the two sides of the mouth for a while.
one thing in the district says something else in Washington, does something in the district, does something else in Washington. This impeachment thing, I think, has really got a lot of people in this congressional district and across the country upset because, again, he, a couple weeks ago, said he was against impeachment, but then he, after getting a primary from the socialist left, he turned within 24 hours, he flipped and said, now I'm for impeachment, which is, so that was really, I think, something that people will remember next year.
And I don't think it's only that, Nicole. I mean, he's seeing your fundraising numbers. He's seeing that you're a formidable challenger. You went up against Bill de Blasio in the mayor's race. You're undefeated in your election so far. So he sees that he's got a problem there. And Nancy Pelosi, if she's going to go with impeachment, you know she wants unanimity. She wants everybody on board. And I think what this tells me is he knows he's on the run. And he's got to snuggle up to Nancy Pelosi and show his support now because he's going to need money because you're coming after him.
And the bottom line is the people of this district want a Congress that's going to work with our president. This endless investigation, this endless pursuing
Mueller
of
probe after Mueller probe.
So pursuing the impeachment, these endless investigations do nothing to lower your taxes. It does nothing to secure our borders. It does nothing to improve our commute here in New York City. And that's what the people of this district want. We received 67% of the vote in this congressional district when I was the Republican candidate against Bill de Blasio. The president won it by double digits. If your viewers go online now and support me, NicoleFriendY.com, we will get the resources to win this race, particularly after this new development that my opponent is siding with the squad. He's caved to the socialists and is now moving toward this witch hunt of our president.
So now we know, if you ask me, we know what he is. Okay, he's with the squad. He's with Nancy Pelosi, and he did these cool little TV commercials of him driving in a car and sitting in traffic on the Verrazano Bridge. Most people don't know, but you know, that's another very liberal issue, right? The two-way tolling and the traffic on the Verrazano Bridge.
Well, I mean, look, he sided with Jerry Nadler on that one.
This is what I'm saying.
And the people.
Where's Jerry Nadler's district?
It's actually neighboring to this district.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the neighboring district. He carries Jerry Nadler's water when it comes to transportation issues in New York City, trying to put more money in the coffers of the MTA, which for those of you across the country, that means a black hole.
This may sound like inside baseball, but we're talking about national issues here. This is one of those seats when you hear on the mainstream media, you hear about all the congressional seats that flipped in the midterm election. This was one of them that was held by a Republican, and Max Rose won. And now politicians are most vulnerable in their first term in office. And to me, he's being exposed to Staten Island. And you may have a lot of Democrats in Staten Island, but they're smart Democrats. And those moderate Democrats, they're not on the side of AOC and the squad, that's for sure.
Well, they're certainly not. I mean, look, this election is about whether we're going to move forward as a country, continue to preserve the American dream, limitless opportunity for anyone who wants to work hard, or are we going to move towards socialism? And I could tell you, as a daughter of a Cuban refugee, we don't want to do that. We do not want to move towards socialism, which is really communism light. And the bottom line is we are fighting for the future of our country here. And New York City does not have one Republican voice right now in Washington. And that's unfortunate because we need someone to push back against AOC and Bill de Blasio. And you know that socialism is spreading here in New York City. That's where it's starting. This is the ground zero for that, unfortunately, with AOC primarying different members of state. Well, I ran against them, so I know. I know exactly. Look, the bottom line is,
when he was running for president, he was absent from New York. I put him on the side of a 1% milk carton because he was missing in action. We're still looking for him, even though he's not even in the race anymore. Well, you gave him a run for his money, and you know, no one thought you would even have a chance, but you got some serious support behind you running for mayor.
Look, we did well, and the bottom line is that we have to stop that spread of socialism that's here in New York City. AOC going after members of Congress, AOC going after state legislators. One by one, they're taking back seats, and that's very dangerous for the country. That's why you need a Republican who's going to fight back. One-party rule in the city, the state level, and in our representation in Washington.
Sanctuary cities, Nicole, because we had Michelle Malkin on the show yesterday, New York Times bestselling author of the book Open Borders, Inc., and she's touring all the sanctuary cities, and de Blasio's like the king of the sanctuary cities.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my opponent, Congressman Max Rose, also supports Bill de Blasio's sanctuary cities. I think this is one of the reasons why we need to flip the House. We need someone who's going to be serious about working with the president to secure the borders, to fight back. I've been very vocal on the issue of sanctuary cities. I've written numerous op-eds about how individuals who have been convicted of crimes, including sex abuse, including patronizing a child for prostitution and grand larceny in our city, are being protected by Mayor de Blasio. And that, to me, is very problematic. It's a public safety issue. And I'm the daughter of immigrants. I am very compassionate toward people who want to come here to achieve the American dream. We want to preserve that. But there's got to be a distinction between individuals who are here following our laws and want to work hard to provide a better life for their families, and those individuals who are here illegally and also committing crimes against immigrants and citizens.
That's right. No, it's a terrible thing. I'm just looking at my rundown. You know Frank. You're friends with Frank Morano, our good friend, our producer. Nico's filling in for him. Look what he wrote, knowing you were coming on. Look what he gave me as a note. It says, "Hammer Max Rose again." So that's what my production staff gave me as a task.
I would say not hammer him, but hold him accountable. Hold him accountable for what he is doing in Washington, siding with the Socialist Squad. You know, this is a person that ran as a centrist and now is voting over 90% of the time with AOC, and he just needs to be held accountable. So, and that in itself will be very
What kind of groundswell support have you been getting behind? I know I see you down in Washington. I see you talking with a lot of the leaders. How are things going with your campaign?
So we had some great developments. We are named one of the Young Guns, the NRCC Young Guns, which means that we are one of the top targeted seats and top candidates in the nation. We had Congressman Dan Crenshaw. In fact, I was with him earlier again today. He came out and did a fundraiser for me in my district. He's very supportive. Fantastic. We had Congresswoman Liz Cheney as well. And we're really excited about the support that we're receiving nationally and locally. A lot of grassroots support, a lot of online donations from people across this city and state and nation. I'm very appreciative for that.
All right, well, go check out Nicole's website, please. And we need to get that seat back. And Nicole, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to keep the heat on Max from here. You keep it on him from there. Before we wrap up this first segment, very special day yesterday. After talking so much serious stuff, you know, I always bring it back to family and football and all that good stuff. But some of our loyal viewers, my cousin Andrea celebrated her 49-plus birthday yesterday. And all the pals came in from all the world and just to see her. And I want to wish her a very happy birthday. And happy birthday to anybody else out there if it's your birthday today. And the party's going to continue right after this on Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. Back at 2.